Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Friday edition of the program. It's Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. It's Friday and it's raining and it's going to turn cold. And it's we got JC here in a minute.
Yeah,
we'll figure out our Peachland Dentistry picks for this week. We'll see what the standings are. And then we're going to have Wayne Hogan from Florida Rising Stars Project talk about an event they're doing with Rocky Bleier, the old Pittsburgh Steeler. What do you think about that, JC?
Well, I do love those old Pittsburgh Steelers. That's great. Well, listen, hey, good job, Wayne. Hey, listen, here's the thing. I felt so bad about the way I completely messed up the Wisconsin, Minnesota, Big Ten West standings. I couldn't get over it, QB. So I had to pull out the old Minnesota.
So you bought a hat?
Well, I had to pull out the Golden Gophers hat. And,
JC,
what?
Nobody gives a damn you made a mistake.
Well, that's bad when you're talking about I made two mistakes. A, I said Wisconsin beat Minnesota, and B, they haven't even played yet, so I didn't even know that. So I was pissed about that. Look, QB, it's third down and 6 inches, and you're in the shotgun and throw a pick six. Okay, why wouldn't you be pissed off about that? So anyway, I know that it's just the Big Ten West. I know that I was wrong twice, but I'm coming back and saying, you know what, Minnesota, you are the leader of the Big Ten West until Wisconsin goes past you when they beat you for Paul Bunyan's axe. But right now, I'm all Minnesota on that. So I wanted to correct that.
Minnesota, PJ Fleck got a huge extension, their coach.
7 years. And I tell you, he is their guy. And so they have committed, much like Florida committed to Dan Mullen last year. So maybe not for 7 years, but they still extended and gave him a raise, as has Texas A&M with Jimbo Fisher. We know all this. So, but PJ Fleck is a guy that has absolutely, his expectation level at that school and what those fans want out of him doesn't seem to correlate at the same scale as what maybe Texas A&M and the University of Florida are asking from their coaches. But does that make it a better job or not? I don't know.
What are you talking about, PJ?
Yeah. They don't expect to win the Big Ten. They don't expect to win the Big Ten.
They don't expect to win anything. Maybe every now and then play for the Big Ten championship. So they're 6-2 right now.
Yeah, good.
And
it's a different expectation.
He's a good football coach. He's a little corny for me with row the boat, and he wears the tie with the vest and sprints. You ever notice how they changed ends of the field every quarter, JC?
Yeah.
So when the whistle blows, let's just say he's down there on like the 30-yard line. Minnesota's driving, and that quarter ends. Okay.
Yes.
The team comes over to him, and then he races them to the other end. I don't know if you've ever watched that. But it's the funniest thing ever.
Well, hey, listen, whatever it takes, and good for him, and good for that school being 6-2. And listen, they've got their guy. They're happy. Their expectation level is not to win the conference, but if they do, glory be the world. And Florida's different. So is Texas A&M's. So I think, you play in the Big Ten West, you've got an easier path to that championship game than probably both schools that I just mentioned. So we'll see. But, QB, here we are in November, and college football is in that month where you make the move now. This is where teams will either separate, either fold, or go forth. And rivalries come at the end of this month, so that's a big deal. And, the end of the year games. And I just can't believe, QB, I cannot believe how fast the season has seemingly gone. I mean, September was just here, and we've just completed 2 months of football, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, whatever. And there's a month to go, and that's it. And then we get into the postseason, and that's a couple games. So, we get to talk about standings. We get to talk about rankings. rankings. We get to talk about expectations, recruiting. All of this stuff is coming. And I just am amazed at how fast it seems to go every year.
Yeah, Vince says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melton Law, the Gophers do have a rich history in wrestling. So there's that.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I thought Iowa was the dominant wrestling program.
I think that whole conference and that whole area, the Big 12 is big on it too. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, these are big wrestling schools. Wrestling is bigger in that part of the world. They pay for it. Down here, we don't. So Florida used to, back in the day in the 70s, when Florida basketball played at Alligator Alley, which is the Florida Gymnasium, they did have a wrestling program, and the Gators were pretty good. And then it disappeared. So, budget cuts, whatever, Title IX, call it whatever you want. But wrestling did happen here at Florida. They did have a pretty good, decent team, and they wrestled at the Alligator Alley or Florida
Gymnasium. Did you cover the wrestling team when you were
No, but I actually did go watch a few matches. Kentucky was really good at wrestling. Kentucky was really good, and Georgia was pretty good. Florida had a pretty good team too. Not every school had a wrestling team, and they only had, I think, 10 schools in the conference at that time. So, there were not 2 divisions. It was just 10 schools. I think it was 10 schools. It was definitely not 14 or 12, so it was probably 10. But Kentucky was good at wrestling. Florida was good at wrestling. And then the program disappeared, just like that.
Turn your car into a rolling billboard for your business or brand with an eye-catching vehicle wrap from Rat Spot. This November, mention promo code Shane and receive 13% off your vehicle wrap. Speaking with JC on the Titan Mar Highline. If you missed it last night in the NFL, the Colts just blasted it. I don't even know what the final was. They were just manhandling the Jets. Well,
Jonathan Taylor just went off 172 yards running. Carson Wentz didn't give up the game, but the Jets looked really good with Mike White playing quarterback on their first or second drive. They tied the game at 7. He then hurt his hand, and unfortunately, that was it for him. Now, Josh Johnson or whoever it was that came in didn't play badly, but he wasn't Mike White throwing the ball, making decisions quickly, hitting his guys, and doing all the things, right? So the Jets I think that they just, once he left the game, they kind of just threw in the towel.
Loreno says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melton Law, I should wrestle JC on the podcast live. That would be great viewing.
I would need to know if I have to cut weight for Loreno or if I have to gain weight for Loreno.
If y'all are both short heavyweights.
Short heavyweights. I don't know what Loreno looks like. Loreno, I'm 206. Go ahead.
Vince says Gators wrestling was good. My time, Coach Pell, big influence in cutting wrestling. Yeah, so Coach Pell was the one that got rid of it?
I don't know the story behind it. I thought it was just one of those programs that the university didn't want to fund anymore, and that football probably didn't want to pay for it, like football pays for everything else. They were just trying to build a south end zone back in those days. But I had a teacher at Fort Clark Middle School, which back then we were called the Patriots. Now they're the Falcons. But the Patriots, I had a teacher in 6th grade I think his name was Jeff Cutler, and he was a wrestler for Florida. Also know a guy named Jeff Davis, who was a wrestler at Florida, who was in the financial business here in town for so many years. And so we had wrestling program here, and I didn't know Charlie cut it out.
Real quick, Joseph says he went and watched Buddy's show from Wednesday night after I spoke about it. I think somebody asked me if I saw it. I don't know what happened on Wednesday night. He says, I'm with the guy he had on there, absolutely ripped Florida and Dan Mullen. I can't say anything what he said wasn't true. I don't even know what happened on Buddy's show Wednesday. I have no idea.
Well, there's
Loreno, JC, just so you know, for your wrestling match, your loser leave town wrestling match, you're going to be going up against Larry B. It's Larry B.
Oh, no. Larry B weighs about 50 pounds more than I do. Ex-Marine. He's fought. He has been trained in Mortal Kombat. That's okay. But Larry B, I'll be happy to race you from the tee box to the putting green on foot.
So no loser leave town match between JC and Larry B.
No. I know Larry B. He is he's as big as a horse, and he's a great guy, and I really do like Larry B. So Lorena, yeah, that's Larry B. Yeah, he was one of our listeners on the radio, QB, when we had the radio gig.
Gotcha.
Larry B. Yeah.
If you missed it last night, the only college football game, and it was a doozy. I mean, it was kind of boring, but give Georgia State credit. I guess did the Raging Cajuns score late to win that game?
Yeah, the Raging Cajuns were losing, and Georgia State had the first half lead, and then Napier finally got his kids to wake up and play. You know, these sleepy Thursday night games. Lafayette did come back to win 21-17, but they were down at half. Yeah, it was 21-17, and Lafayette scored something like most of all their points in the second half. They scored 21 points in the second half to win. They were down 3-0 at half, then they were down 10-0, and then they came back and won the game.
We got a text on the Titan Mark text line from Darius. Says, "Good morning, guys. Everyone going to Columbia tomorrow needs to bundle up. The Gators need to jump on South Carolina early." Yes, big favorites. I think it's going to be about 40 degrees at kickoff. Is that football weather, JC?
I think you can qualify that as football.
I've never understood when people talk about when it's cold, it's football weather. To hell with that.
Well, listen, QB, you played in Buffalo, Chicago, and Cincinnati. Dear God, you know what I'm talking about.
But that is not football weather. That's miserable sitting in the stands football weather is what that is.
You know, we have a trip upcoming for you to Columbia, Missouri in 2 weeks, or I think it is. So you think 40 degrees, that might get down to below that.
I ain't sitting outside. I'm in a booth.
Yeah, but, that's
the
true.
people that sit outside, I've never understood why, and it's 14 below, and they want to sit in the stands for 3.5, 4 hours.
You mean they got to watch their Packers, they got to watch their Bills, they got to watch their Vikings.
They do have cable up there. They do have cable in those cities.
Listen, man, when you live in a place like Green Bay, Milwaukee, Buffalo, wherever.
Speaking of Green Bay,
you don't care about the damn weather. You go to the game.
Speaking about Green Bay,
you're such a Florida guy now.
I want to get your thoughts on the whole Aaron Rodgers issue.
Listen, he said he got immunized. That seems to be untrue now, although he hasn't admitted that was untrue. But Stephen A. Smith of ESPN says he's a damn liar. Listen, it's a personal choice thing, right? Is it or is it not? Is it supposed to be? It's one of those things where he got COVID. He's going to miss now. I don't know what his health really is like. I don't know if it's asymptomatic or no, who knows? But he did say he got vaccinated. Well, did he?
Well, obviously he didn't.
Well, they say if you get vaccinated,
he said
still get it.
No. He's never been vaccinated. They've come out and said that.
I think he said that he was immunized.
No, he phrased it because he was doing. Rodgers has gone into all this weird stuff. I think he's doing all this I don't even know. I don't even want to get into it, but it's a shame because they're 6-1, I think, right? They're playing really good football.
Yeah.
You lose a couple of these games, it may cost you home field advantage against Tampa or the Rams 100%. Or somebody.
Absolutely. And this is the protocol. He has to stay away now. And now they're 7-1, man. They just beat Arizona. So he's got to stay away. Now, Jordan Love should be, ready to play, I would think, but
why? He ain't played.
Well,
isn't that what everybody says?
He's been there for a year and a half.
You got to get in there and play some games.
Well, I don't know. He knows the plays. He knows the playbook. I don't know. You're right. He hasn't played, but he's been there a year and a half now. So we'll see. But the Chiefs are 4-4. They needed this to happen because they are struggling, and they are struggling pretty badly. They're not good right now. They can't stop anybody. So Green Bay is somewhat fortunate that they're playing the Chiefs instead of somebody like Buffalo, if you ask me.
I got a Facebook Live here. I got to read for it. It just it's about to vanish. Let me talk to John. Says, QB, what's your thoughts on Baker and OBJ? Did you ever have one of your wide receivers' parents tell you that you were not throwing the ball to him on purpose? I haven't followed that, but I guess OBJ's parents have been all over Twitter. It just seems like I think he's a good player, but why he has to bring stuff, just make it all about him, I do not understand.
Well, QB, let's face it, he couldn't get it done in New York. He was somewhat of a cancer there. Why Cleveland thought it would be any different amazes me. This is just not a guy that fits, and he hasn't found a team that he fits for yet. And I'm not sure there is one out there because, if you can't get it done in one place and the exact same crap happens in another, there's something going on that we need to address.
He's like most wide receivers. Most wide receivers are divas. That's what he is. Real quick, Joseph says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mental Law, who cares if he or he is or isn't, referring to Aaron Rodgers, his choice. Right. Meanwhile, New York is talking about redoing their whole mandate because Kyrie Irving doesn't want to get vaccinated. I haven't followed that situation. Let me just say this. I just know that the National Football League is totally different when it comes to procedures. I think they're way more organized is not the word I'm looking for. What's the word I'm looking for, Jay? The NFL is totally different than the other sports, in my opinion. The NBA, I feel like in the NBA, the players run that league.
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt about that.
But the NFL is pretty much set. You know, you have guidelines.
This is how it is. Yeah.
And you follow it, or you get fined, or you get cut, or you get kicked out of the league, or whatever. So
right.
I could be wrong.
I agree with that. No, I follow you there. I mean, you were in the league. We have some good friends that we know who are as well in the league that both of us know. I mean, obviously, you know more people than I do, but we both know a couple guys that also played, and that is, to me, how it is. I mean, it's kind of like it's a I wouldn't say a dictatorship, but they have. This is how it is. This will never, and it's going to take the owners to change it, and the players are just going to have to live with it. And so, but you're right. The NBA it's whatever LeBron wants, and that's the NBA.
Yeah. All right, JC. So let's move forward here to college football this weekend.
Yeah, I love college football.
There's some good games. Where do we stand right now? We'll get into the Peachland Dentistry, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. Visit them at peachlanddental.com. What are the standings? I need to write these down. I was on the road last week, so I don't have good bookkeeping.
Well, I fortunately picked up the slack for you, and you had one of those dream weeks. You went 9-2, and probably should have been 10-1 because of what happened with Clemson and Florida State. And so that 9-2 week really did wonders for your overall record to get you above the Mendoza line, right?
So what is my record?
You are now 53-51. And that's pretty good. You were down a little bit, but you really jumped ahead of me. You don't think that's right?
Well, how many games ahead am I? What are you then?
I'm 50-54. So you're 3 games ahead of me.
All right, that sounds about right.
And I think you were 2 games below me prior to last week. So you made up 5 freaking games. And that's right. I think my bookkeeping is spotless here, or is infallible. So anyway, I got some catching up to do, and November is a good month to do it. So let's get it started with an ACC game that is not a conference game for reasons I've not been explained. But Wake Forest is playing North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Some say North Carolina at Chapel Hill is the most gorgeous campus in America.
It is pretty.
Yeah, that's what I've been told. I've been told it is unbelievable.
You've never been there, JC?
No, I'm going to go now because I didn't know how pretty it must have been. But I'm going to go right through Athens, Georgia, check that place out, and then head up to Chapel Hill. How's that sound?
You got to go to Clemson too if you're going to go to Athens.
Yeah, I have been to Clemson. It's okay. Clemson. It reminds me of Auburn. It's okay. It's okay. Wake Forest at North Carolina, and the Tar Heels lay 2.5 to the unbeaten and 10th ranked Wake Forest Deacons. Man,
Well, first of all, I got a Facebook Live referring to the Demon Deeks. John wants to know, does Wake Forest make the college football playoffs if they go 13-0 and are the ACC champs?
I say yes. Absolutely, they do. I do.
I think it's going to depend. Yes. It's going to depend on where Oregon and Ohio State, what their record is.
QB, you've got Georgia. Now, everybody like Wake Forest and Oregon and all the rest of them are rooting for Georgia to beat Alabama, right? Because if Alabama were to win out, including beating Georgia, that's 2 SEC teams. It is. So that just takes up a spot. But let's assume Georgia does what it does and Alabama doesn't make it. Then you've got Ohio State, Oregon, and Wake Forest, maybe. And so Oklahoma's still sitting out there. So this is why we're going to find out this month who gets in and who doesn't, because obviously some of these teams could easily have 1 or 2 losses by the time we get to the end of this month.
If That's the scenario. Wake goes undefeated, wins the ACC. Oklahoma wins the Big 12 and is undefeated. Oklahoma's getting in way before Wake Forest.
I mean, you got
to think. I don't have the schedules in front of me, but that Oklahoma has had to have beaten better opponents than Wake Forest. Wake Forest hadn't beat a team. I saw, maybe I read it wrong. I don't think they've beaten a team that has a winning record.
Well, Army had a winning record, I think.
They're probably right around 500. I would
think. Maybe, but that's an argument that I think will get itself worked out. Because
I don't think Wake gets in. I'll put it right there. Because Cincinnati's not getting in either.
Well, I don't think either one of them. Well, I do think Cincinnati will finish unbeaten, but I don't know if Wake can finish out unbeaten. I don't know if they'll win this weekend, but I'm going to take them getting 2.5.
Okay, what was the line again?
2.5.
They're favored or not?
They're the underdog.
Okay, so you're taking Wake.
Yeah.
You would think that the people out west. You got an undefeated team. Carolina's got what, 3 losses?
Yeah, and they're favored.
Makes no sense. Give me the Tar Heels.
So of course you're going to take North Carolina. No, I put this game in just as an extra one because we had the time. Nebraska is at home. This is Scott Frost's swan song. It's just general. This is Little Bighorn for Scott Frost. They are getting 14.5 points at home. They have lost a lot of close games, but their record is abysmal. And looking at what Nebraska has from here on, they may not win another game. But they are getting 14.5. They got the Buckeyes coming in town. I'm taking the points, and that's probably a really dumb thing. But for some reason, I think they're going to play inspired. And I'm just not as big a Ohio State guy. I thought last year's Ohio State team was better than this year's. So
all right, you're taking the Huskers.
I think the Huskers, yeah. 14.5.
I'm going to take Ohio State because I just don't know if Nebraska can score. Their quarterback turns it over too many times for me. And Ohio State is so explosive.
But, he has played okay at times.
No,
who?
Martinez?
Yeah. He
has a walking turnover machine.
He does turn it over a lot.
I'm curious if he has more turnovers. Here's a research project for you. Does he have more turnovers than the Gator quarterbacks combined? Or do the Gator quarterbacks have?
No, I would guess he does. I could always look it up. But they almost average 500 yards a game in offense. So, a home game is different. If this game were in Columbus, I would feel that way. But remember last year,
4 touchdowns.
But last year, Nebraska played these guys really tight. They really played them tight last year. And some say they could have easily won that game. I don't know. This is about the numbers, not about the teams, QB. And I'm looking at the numbers, and I don't blame you for taking Ohio State. But I'm going to take
what was the spread?
14.5.
Okay. All right. What we got next?
Well, we got, and I like this game because I like the way Miami's playing here last 2 weeks with that quarterback. They're laying 10.5 to Georgia Tech at home, and Manny Diaz's job is on the line as well. But look, what if Miami runs it out, beats FSU, has a great finish? He may not be fired. So they're laying 10.5. This is a Miami team against Georgia Tech. Okay, so I'm going to take the points because I don't trust Miami yet, but I do like the way that quarterback's playing, bro. And I'm going to take Georgia Tech with a 10.5.
All right, I'll take the Canes home. I'm going to give you a chance.
Well, okay. Now here's a bonus on top of that. You like over 63.5 in that game?
Sure, why not?
All right, and we're going to both say over. All right, Michigan State is at Purdue. Somehow the unbeaten Spartans, who's everybody's darling of the year at 7 or 8-0, whatever it is, after coming back against Michigan, is only laying 3 points at Purdue. Now, Purdue is a weird team. One weekend they can look really good like they did against Iowa. The next weekend they can look really bad. But they're only getting 3. I don't care. Michigan State to me is just much better than Purdue. So I'm going to take Michigan State and lay 3.
All right. I'm going with the Boilers to win the game. It makes no sense. It's another one that doesn't make sense. And Jeff Brom, I don't know if Michigan State's played a passing team yet this year. I haven't followed them closely enough. But Purdue can throw and catch. And he can dial them up. So look out, rush the field in West Lafayette.
Do you think they're going to rush the field by beating Michigan State?
Why wouldn't they? They're number 3 team in America.
Okay. Yeah, but they're Michigan State. I mean,
they're undefeated and they're in the college football playoffs right now.
Purdue is 5-3. Not bad. All right. I got another game you probably don't care about, but I like it. It's Baylor at TCU because I'm paying attention to the Baylor Bears who get Oklahoma here soon at home and want to win that Big 12 championship. And Dave Aranda has been just fantastic this year with that team, 7-1. They are playing TCU that's got no head coach anymore. So it's only 6.5, and I'm going to lay that point. I'm going to lay those points and take Baylor.
It's obviously at TCU, right?
It is at TCU, and TCU, no Gary Patterson. They're playing out the season.
I think he's still coaching, isn't he? Isn't he kind of doing what
no, I don't think he is.
Coach O's doing?
I don't think so. I think he just hit the road. He absolutely hit the road.
You can have the Bears. I'll take the home team. They're going to play hard for whether it's Coach Patterson or the interim coach. They're going to play hard.
NC State at Florida State, bro. The semis had Clemson tight last week. Really did. It was tight. And playing better under Mike Norvell. NC State, bad loss at Miami, but this team is so schizophrenic. 1 week they're great, next week they're terrible. They've lost some games they probably shouldn't have. But NC State's only laying 3. But I tell you, I think the Seminoles have found something. I'm going to stay with them and take the 3 points.
Yeah, I'm taking the home team. I'm taking the semis too.
All right, here's the SEC schedule for us. It's a lot of games this weekend. Missouri is at Georgia, and they are getting 38.5 points.
Yeah. Give me Georgia.
I'm taking Missouri.
Okay.
I'm going to take Missouri. Just get me close. Just get me.
I think, JC, I think you could play nose guard for Missouri. They're that bad on the defensive
That's true, but they're going to – I have a feeling that quarterback
this game is 49-0.
49-0? Well, then I would lose that bet.
Although I do like Missouri's quarterback a lot.
Okay. Thank you. All right. This is a really good game here in College Station. Auburn is traveling. They, as Alabama, control their fate in the SEC West because they beat Ole Miss last week. So they have a chance by beating Texas A&M, by beating Mississippi State, and by beating Alabama of getting a rematch with Georgia. Not that anybody wants to see that, because I don't think anybody wants to see that except people in Auburn. So they're going to play A&M and get beat. They're going to lose by 7 to 10 points. So I'm taking the Aggies. And if you want Auburn, you can get your 4.5 and hope.
No, I'm taking my preseason SEC champs because they're playing the way they're supposed to be playing now.
Okay, so they get 4.5, or they're laying 4.5 at home. They need a little help, but they're not out of it either. So if they beat
all they need is to win this game, win the rest, and have Auburn beat Alabama, and they're in Atlanta.
That's right.
Hang on, JC. I got a text on the Titan Mark text line. Well, I thought I did. Where'd it go? Never mind. I don't. Okay.
Okay.
Continue.
All right. We are moving on to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and the Razorbacks, who I think had a week off last week, play Mississippi State, a team that easily could be 7-1. They lost to LSU and Memphis in a controversial fashion, and they just didn't play well against LSU, and they were only overmatched in one game, I thought. But with the rest of the schedule that they've had, they've played well. They've beaten NC State. They have beaten Kentucky. They're not bad. They're 5-3. They play good defense, and they're getting 5, and I'll take it. They beat Texas A&M. So they don't care where they play. And that's the thing. Auburn could win this game against Texas A&M and have a letdown next week at home against Mississippi State, and then Auburn would be in trouble. Or they could lose this game and then lose next week as well. So I'll take Mississippi State getting the 5 against Arkansas.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Dogs as well.
Okay. Tennessee at Kentucky. This is a big game for those folks. Kentucky's kind of hit the skids here with 2 straight losses. Tennessee trying to keep this season from getting away. And they're laying a point at Kentucky. Think about that. So respect is being given to Tennessee more so than Kentucky here. But Kentucky's the home team. Tennessee had the week off. What do you think?
I like the Vols. I think they're playing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I do like the Vols. So you're taking Kentucky?
No, I'm taking Tennessee.
Oh.
Absolutely.
I think Tennessee wins the game.
All right, here's my 49-0 game, and all they've been talking about is revenge. Now, last year, Alabama beat LSU by 100 in Baton Rouge, but they are talking about revenge on LSU for the way Ed Orgeron acted in the locker room, blah, blah, blah. 2 years ago in Tuscaloosa when they beat Alabama. Alabama is laying 28.5, and you could lay 48.5 because they are not going to take their foot off the gas pedal, and they are going to blow out LSU.
I agree with that 100%.
UF, the Fighting Gators, trying to pick themselves up off the mat, stay above 500, playing at South Carolina. I mean, geez, QB. What? I mean, are you going to – I mean, what's it going to be like watching this game for you? South Carolina.
Well, we need to
said
win.
They had
South Carolina is so bad.
The worst offense. Yeah, worst. So whose offense is worse, Vanderbilt or South Carolina's?
I would take South Carolina's is worse than Vanderbilt's.
That's awful. So
Vanderbilt's got an experienced quarterback. We don't even know who's playing quarterback for South Carolina.
How did that get that way? I mean, so what'd they have going into the season? One guy, two guys, maybe? What'd they have?
I don't know. I don't follow them.
Yeah, nobody does.
I don't keep up with the Gamecock beat writers.
Nobody follows South Carolina. So
I'm going to take Florida just because I don't think South Carolina can score.
Won't score. Right, they won't score. So Florida wins the game, 29-6 or 32-6. That covers the 18 for you. And there are our picks. We have quite a few different ones. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We didn't have any NFL games in there?
Well, I can get one, but the two games that I wanted, Derrick Henry is not playing for Tennessee as they play the Rams, and Aaron Rodgers is not playing for Green Bay as they play Kansas City. But if you want me to throw an NFL game in there, how about this? You pick the NFL game, QB, since this is –
Yeah, I'm going to look right now for all our loyal listeners.
But I was going to have Tennessee and the Rams and Green Bay and Kansas City, but we don't have the two best players on the field. Henry is the NFL's leading rusher.
Oh,
he thinks
what about the Battle of Ohio?
Yeah, well, if Cleveland had some healthy players, it would be great.
Okay, so you want the Bengals minus 2.5?
No, I'm taking Cincinnati. Absolutely.
Okay,
Cincinnati.
I'll take Cleveland just to be different.
Why? Okay, so
why
because
not?
you want to be different. Well, because Cleveland is okay. Sure.
Well, how about this?
No, you got Cleveland.
The Mafia is traveling to TIAA Bank Field against your Jaguars. And 14.5.
God, that's so bad. I got the Mafia. I'm sorry. I mean, you would think that the Mafia can handle 14.5, right? But why isn't it 20? Why isn't it 20? I mean, Jacksonville's
John says on Facebook Live, Zeb Nolan, I think his name, was their QB. I think both of them are hurt. John, that's why I said that. Zeb was the graduate assistant coach that turned player. Luke Doty is not very good, but he's been hurt. And I want to say they're both out for this game. I could be wrong.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. I mean, I could go with Dallas and Denver with Dak Prescott coming back, and they're laying 10 points. Denver's 4-4, got rid of their linebacker. I mean, you want to do that one? Dallas and Denver? Dallas is laying 10. That's a lot in the NFL, dude.
Yeah, you're right. I just looked here. It's the first time I looked at the NFL ticket here. The two best marquee games
missing their best
Packers,
player.
Chiefs, Titans, Rams.
Yeah, I mean, those players are gone. And, Henry could come back. I thought
he was having surgery. I thought he was out for the year.
He said 6 to 10 weeks. So maybe it's not as bad a fracture.
He's such a good player.
Gosh, he is, man. It's too bad for Tennessee because they really had it going. They've beaten they're on a roll right now. They beat the Colts last week without them, basically. But the Rams are a team that I think is dangerous now that they've got this linebacker on top of what they've already gotten. They're going all in. They don't care about draft picks. They are simply playing with free agents, and they want to win a Super Bowl today. So we'll see if they can do it. Go
all right,
Rams,
JC.
Horns.
Good luck on your picks. Have a good weekend.
They go the Rams.
Well, the Rams, I remember my pick in the Super Bowl, Bills, Rams.
Bills and the Rams, yeah. And you're right now. You're right on it. And my Cleveland pick is looking awful. But
that's who you picked?
I had the Browns and the Rams.
Oh, Lordy.
Well, I just didn't think the Browns would have all these injuries, but why wouldn't I?
There's a lot of hurt people in the National Football League.
Yeah, so there's a good weekend. We'll add them up. This could really change the standings dramatically. Hopefully we'll see some upsets, maybe shake up the poll a little bit. And it won't be all chalk. And if that happens, it gives us more interest in November. But big weekend, and have fun and be safe in South Kakalaki.
All right, that's JC.
All right.
Join us on the Titan More Hotline. Going to take our first time out. We're going to come back. We'll be joined by Wayne Hogan from the Florida Rising Stars Project, talking about their event they're going to have with Rocky Bleier. You're watching and listening to Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Wrap Spot, Okido America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Hi, Steve Spurrier here. You know, making a reservation at my restaurant is easier than a Saturday afternoon homecoming game against Vandy. You don't have to call or email. Just go to spurriers.com, hit the reservation button, pick a date, a number of guests, and a time. It's so simple, I can do it. In fact, I just did. Maybe I'll see you tonight.
Spend an evening with the great Rocky Bleier and support our community's youth. You can meet this true American war hero and football champion November 15th at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Visit FloridaRisingStars.com for tickets, event, and sponsor information.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Center State Bank is now South State Bank, but we still put business first. We understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. South State still has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, banking forward, member FDIC. I want to thank JC for joining us on the Titan MR Hotline. We're now going to turn back to the Titan MR Hotline, and we're going to head down south towards the Tampa area. We're going to be joined by Wayne Hogan from the Florida Rising Stars Project. Good morning, Wayne. How are you?
Good morning, Shane. How are you this morning?
Plugging away, Wayne. We wanted to get you on because I know the Florida Rising Stars Project's having a big event at Coach Spurrier's place, I think up at Advisors on November the 15th. Let everybody know what it's all about.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool deal. We've been down there a couple of times. People that have been fans of your show have heard our story a little bit. We're an organization, a 501c3. We actually go into high schools and we teach high school kids about careers that they can have in sports, rewarding lives when their playing careers are over. And we've got a great team that goes in and does these academies inside various high schools around the state. We're working with a bunch of them in Gainesville. But the subject that you're on is an opportunity for us to come into Gainesville and do a really nice evening. It's a fundraiser for our organization because we do these academies at no charge to the kids, no charge to the high schools, and we support ourselves through corporate and individual donations. So we have a big night planned on the 15th, as you said, right at Spurrier's at the Visors upstairs, and we're bringing in Rocky Bleier. And for some of the folks that are probably have a little bit of white hair like me, they will remember Rocky Bleier very well. Some of the younger folks, maybe not so much. The reason this is a significant night, Shane, is because this guy is a true American hero. He played at Notre Dame, was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers very low in the draft when he came out of college. But he made the team, and he was playing for the Steelers when he was abruptly drafted into the United States Army. and had to actually leave the field and pack up and head to Vietnam. Subsequently, he suffered a horrific battlefield injury. A hand grenade rolled up, right next to his feet, and he was severely injured and had to battle his way back, rehabbed himself and fought back, and it took him months and months. It's one of those stories where doctors said, boy, you would just be lucky to walk again, much less play football. And he persevered that, and he made it all the way back. He asked the Rooneys with the Steelers, the ownership of the Steelers, if he could have a shot at coming back. And I'm sure they rolled their eyes and said, how in the world, we love this guy, but there's no chance in hell he's going to play in the NFL after what he's been through. And sure enough, he came back and fought his way through, became a starting running back for the Steelers, and was there for 4 Super Bowl championships. So he's got a life story that's much an inspiration, and he's going to tell that story on the 15th at our event there at Spurrier's.
So as you said, it's on November the 15th there at Spurrier's Restaurant up at Visors. So basically, Rocky will be there, sign autographs, take pictures, and just kind of tell his life story for everyone that attends, correct?
Yes, and let me tell you a little bit about how significant that this appearance is. Rocky Bleier has been doing a one-man show around the country. He goes into major theaters, and it's called The Play. And he's the only character. He's a one-man show, and he goes up on the stage and has this tremendous dialogue about his life and about, perseverance and all of those things, those inspirational things. And he draws hundreds of people in these major theaters all over the country. So he's one of our ambassadors. Rocky Bleier, in the early part of our inception, our founder, Jan Richard, had a relationship with Rocky, and told Rocky about what we were doing down here in Florida. And Rocky jumped on. He was one of our early ambassadors, and of course told us at some point that if he could ever do things that would help enhance our cause, that he'd be happy to do it. Just so happens he's willing to come down to Florida and make this appearance. In his theater shows, Shane, he's probably an hour and 15 minutes or so on stage. This is not going to be quite that extensive. This will be a 20-minute version, and it's going to be very appropriate for all ages. We have a number of kids, our high school kids and some middle school kids that we work with our program from the Gainesville area. They'll be coming, thanks to Lee McGriff, has been kind enough to put together a group of these high school kids and some middle schoolers, and they're gonna actually be in attendance that night. So because the Rocky Bleier story is just so inspirational and appropriate for young kids, that talks about never giving up and the perseverance that it takes to be a champion. So we're looking forward to the evening. It's going to be a cool night. And the head ball coach is going to be there as well. He knows Rocky from his days in the NFL, and so that'll be a nice little reunion for those two. And we're excited about that as well.
What night of the week? I'm trying to think. I guess I could look at my phone. The 15th.
It's a Monday night. It's a Monday night. Yep.
Okay, so Monday night. So we'll pop it up here so people that want to go buy tickets, tell them verbally how they can go get a ticket to this event.
It's easy as pie. Our website is FloridaRisingStars.com. That's the name of our organization, Florida Rising Stars. And if you go to FloridaRisingStars.com, you'll see a big picture of Rocky Bleier right as soon as you click in. And it gives you an avenue to go in and purchase tickets. The tickets are they're all tax deductible because this is a donation to our nonprofit 501c3 organization, and this goes directly to helping our organization go into these schools and really give these kids something that's going to come back later in life and be a tremendous value to them. So it's a $150 donation to the organization. for each admission. And what the good thing too, Shane, is it's going to be limited. It's going to be limited to 100 patrons, so that everybody there that night is going to have a personal opportunity to shake hands with Rocky Bleier, see the head ball coach. Pictures are going to be certainly a big thing that night. And there's a lot of special items that Rocky's bringing from his Super Bowl times that we'll have available as an auction opportunity as well. It's a fundraiser for Florida Rising Stars.
Good stuff as always, Wayne. We appreciate you taking the time to let us know about it. We have it posted on Facebook here. We'll direct people to that website, and I'm sure it'll be an outstanding event on November the 15th. We appreciate you taking the time, my man.
But one last thing, Shane, I'm sorry. I wanted to mention this. I need to give a shout out to Infotech in Gainesville, because they are the presenting sponsor. They really stepped up. Mr. McClave over there, Jim McClave, is a big Pittsburgh Steelers guy and has a wonderful company out at Celebration Point. And they have stepped up big time to help us, bring this to fruition. So thanks to them very much.
A lot of good golfers in that building over there at Infotech. So be careful. They'll take your money in a heartbeat, Wayne.
That's good to hear. Good to hear.
All right. That's Wayne Hogan. Join us on the Titan MRI hotline. We're going to take our final time out, come back, catch up on some Facebook Live comments, and wrap up today's program. You're watching and listening to Pot Up with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avera and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Visor's Tailgate and Rooftop Bar, located on top of Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point, is now open Thursday through Saturday. Visor's covered open-air bar is the perfect place to gather after work or meet up with friends. You'll love the handcrafted cocktails and elevated shareables available every Thursday through Saturday. Visor's Tailgate and Rooftop Bar is perfect for fans of great food, great drinks, and great weather. Visor's not required. High spirits are highly encouraged. Visit spurriers.com/visors.
Are you tired of being sidelined by nagging pain? Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer and Dance with the Stars champion. Happy to tell you about QC Kinetics and their biologic therapies for treating pain without drugs or surgery.
Are you suffering from chronic pain in your hips, knees, shoulder, or lower back? Are you tired of living with arthritis pain? QC Kinetics offers natural pain treatment that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints.
Listen, I know pain, and I've seen firsthand how powerful biologic therapies can be. Patients at QC Kinetics rave about their result because they're getting their lives back. They are getting moving again.
These exciting regenerative treatments used to be available only to pro athletes like Emmitt. Now they're available to anyone thanks to QC Kinetics. Call today for your free consultation.
Get long-lasting results from my friends at QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. In North Central Florida, call 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, Small enough to care. Celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Nike, Prime and Pearl, Regal Cinemas, Medici, Dave & Buster, Skechers, and the HBC's new restaurant, Spurs Gridiron Grill. Make your reservation today at spurs.com. Now open Thursday through Saturday, Visors Tailgate and Rooftop Bar. We will see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. I want to thank JC and Wayne Hogan for joining us on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline. Coy says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. We got to go into Billy Bryce this weekend, like the Shane Matthews Band and a bunch of ants marching. All right. I forgot. Yeah, we're going to the Billy Bryce Stadium, Williams-Brice. I never played there. They South Carolina came into the league my senior year. We played them in the swamp. I've been to the stadium multiple times when Coach Spurrier was the head coach there. They got a great football facility, I'll tell you that. Phenomenal indoor and standalone facility. Their indoor facility is called the Jerry and Steve Spurrier Indoor Complex. So anyway, I don't know where I got off a tangent there. Make sure you tell all your friends and family to follow our program, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. I think people now can check out our program live on Twitter, however that works. So you got plenty of ways to listen to our program, whether you like it or not. Listen to it, or at least act like you're listening to it. At Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today, 352-244-0840. Marissa says that place is loud if everybody shows up at Williams-Brice. There won't be a packed house. They play their little, what is it they play when they come out? It's good. It's one of my favorite entrances into college football there at Williams-Brice. But they're having a rough year. They're not a very good football team, folks. Oh, it's Sandman? That's what they play? Okay. All right, Sandman. Michael says, this is for our great production department. He says, the background and ads are great on the show. So that's a kudos to all the computer wizards that put this program together. No, it's 2001 Space Odyssey. You're right. Sandman is at Virginia Tech, I believe. I don't know the names of these songs. I just know what they sound like. So, yeah, it's Space Odyssey. That's what it is. Tremendous entrance into the stadium. But I think the Gators will play well. We need to play well. We need something good to happen for the program. With these next 4 games, folks, we're not playing very good football teams. Florida State's the best one we'll play. Missouri is awful, although they do have a really talented quarterback. South Carolina is just a bad football team, period. Don't forget, if you've got joint pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away, you need to check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics. That's 352-400-4550. Give them a call, 352-400-4550. Ryan says on Facebook Live, mud bowls all over North Central Florida tonight in high school football, cold and very, very wet. Some teams move their games last minute to last night, believe it or not, because of the weather that's going to happen today here in the southeast. Well, I don't know if it's in the entire southeast or just in the state of Florida, but it's going to be some bad weather today. Good day to hunker down and get some stuff done on the inside. But hope you enjoyed today's shows, folks. John says, not looking forward to it. It's going to be miserable. Yeah, if you're going to a high school football game tonight, folks, get your rain gear on and hunker down because it's going to be some bad weather for sure. Today's show's a wrap, brought to you by Wrap Spot. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you on Monday.